They hold the Hawks to 27% from three, and they win 121-98. A big swing in this one. The Clippers entered the third quarter down by 8, and they exited the third quarter up by 17, 35-8. They won quarter number 3, holding Atlanta to 8 points and forcing 8 turnovers. We'll see what we get today on the headset as the Clippers get the win, 121-98. So a lot of exchanges and high fives and hugs between the two teams. Bogdanovic spent 5.5 years here. Terance Mann, 6.5 seasons with the Clippers. And those two getting together. A lot of Hawks coming to say hi to Bogey. A lot of Clippers coming to say hi to T-Man. And George Niang and James Harden sharing smiles. Those two are in Philadelphia together. The Clippers' next game will be Sunday, 4 o'clock versus the Hornets, who are looking to be on their way to their 17th win this season, up big on the Spurs in the fourth quarter. And the Clippers finish this game on a 54-31 run the last 17 minutes to take down the Hawks, 121-98. Our final here at State Farm Arena, as it looks like we're going to get Nic Batum on the headset for a quick couple of questions. Nico, thanks so much for throwing the headset on quickly here. You guys hold this team to under 100 points. They had 8 turnovers in the third quarter. They had 8 points in the third quarter. What worked so well in the third quarter defensively?
I mean, you just woke up, though. No, we didn't do a good job in the first half. Like, defensively, we had no energy. We had turned the ball over way too many times. I think we just took care of the little thing in the third quarter. We started like on off defense, doing a good job rebounding, took care of the ball, and we did a good job like to finish the game.
You finish with 11 points in this one. You knocked down 3 threes. You've had a couple of blocks, Nico, since you've been in the starting lineup. Has that been a point of emphasis that you are trying to focus on? Did someone on the coaching staff talk to you about that? I think you have 8 blocks in your last 6 starts.
I don't know, actually. So I don't know. And I just have to be more active. I get a chance to play with guys. I got more minutes, get maybe a bit of rhythm. So, I don't really think about it. I don't really play for that. You know me. But, just if you have the team, that's good.
It's looking good. Last one for you. Yes. But Brian Shaw told us pregame that it seems like you, Bogey, and Zoo play really well together. You guys share the ball, something he talked about. What is it about the synergy between you guys that allows you to play so well?
Euroleague basketball. That's what we call it between each other. We play Euroleague basketball, so that helps.
All right. Enjoy the win. Congrats on this one. Thanks, Nico.
Thank you.
Clippers come away with a victory 121-98 as they take down the Hawks and sweep the season series for the first time since 2017-2018. Well, for John Kramer, our engineer, Kevin Barnes, our statistician, Carlo Jimenez, I'll send it back to Adam Oslin. We will see you for one more segment in 2 minutes, but Adam has you the rest of the way. The final here from Atlanta, the Clippers win 121-98, improve to 37-30 on the season, and finish the road trip 2-1. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a few here at your Clippers Audio Network.
Let's go, Clipper Nation. I'm telling you, that was a really good game from Kawhi. Even though he took 21 shots to get to his 25 points, he played with force, aggression, star-level stuff on both ends. He went downhill so many times in the half court, in transition, went at Terance Mann, multiple buckets on him, and 5 steals, and it was almost 6. It looked like he was trying to show Dyson Daniels this is what a Defensive Player of the Year award winner looks like at the wing position. It looked like he was trying to show Terance Mann something too. That was a really good game from Kawhi in many, many ways there. And, of course, from the Clippers overall, that third quarter was special, guys. That's one of the worst shooting performances I've ever seen in a quarter, period. The Hawks had 8 points in the third. They had 8 turnovers in the third. They went 4 of 22 from the field. Their first three-pointer in the second half came at the 3:28 mark of the fourth. The Clippers were down 8 at the half. That game completely turned around. A 25-point turnaround by the end of the third quarter. Over 12 minutes, you got that big of a turnaround? That's insane. Yeah, this might get the defensive rating back to top 2 or 3.
We'll come back with the ID.
That third quarter, guys. Oh my goodness. It is rare you see a professional team in today's NBA have a single-digit quarter scoring-wise. The Hawks have a good offense. That was crazy. And Kawhi had a lot of pop and just played with such force out there. Love seeing that. It wasn't his highest scoring game. It wasn't his most efficient game. But it looked like a star-level performance by a guy who had like his B-minus game, but played hard, both ends. That was probably the best he's looked defensively since he came back. This is game 24 for Kawhi. All right, we're coming back in, y'all.
The LA Clippers.
The game is ended. This is Clippers Locker Room, breaking down today's action with the pre- and post-game voice of the Clippers. Here's Adam Osler.
And now the Clippers have won 5 of 6 as they stayed hot in hot Atlanta, winning 121-98. Well, the Atlanta Hawks went ice cold in the second half, and the Clippers took advantage thanks to 25 from Kawhi Leonard. Welcome into your post-game show.
I'm sorry.
I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, second half highlights, your post-game box score, and more. But first, I think we can get back out to your radio voice, the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. I hear him. He's still connected. We got him. Carlo, you talked about it with Nic Batum, but the defensive effort by that Clippers team in the second half, and specifically in that third quarter, that was maybe a franchise record. I don't know. We're going to have to go back into the archives. A team scoring 8 points, that might be the worst quarter in a long time from this Atlanta Hawks group.
I mean, it was unbelievable for the Clippers to be able to just shut down a team like that. Atlanta made 3 field goals in the quarter as the Clippers were able to lock them down in that third quarter. 8 forced turnovers in the Clippers, 5 steals in that game by Kawhi Leonard, who was excellent in the third quarter. I believe he had 10 in the frame for the Clippers. Just an overall impressive performance. I mean, this was a Hawks team that had been playing good basketball. They had won their last 4. They were in the middle of a 6-game homestand. I think the Clippers came in here down by 8 at halftime. Adam, the Clippers on the season, when trailing at the half, only won 7 games this year, and they come away with their 8th in an impressive performance. They dominated that third quarter. 35 to 8. Absurd number from the Clippers.
I thought Kawhi played with a level of physicality like we haven't seen this season in a complete game, especially the final 3 quarters. But in his 36 minutes, I know it was just 25 points. It's not his scoring high on the season. I know it took him 21 shots to get there.
Yeah.
But he was going downhill, whether in the half court or in transition. He was going at Terance Mann, his former teammate. He was going at defensively Dyson Daniels on the other end, where it looked like he had something to prove there. Hey, I'm a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year winner at the wing position. This is what it looks like with those 5 steals. He wanted to show the young man something. It almost looked like Kawhi had a little something to prove out there, played with a little bit more edge.
Yeah, that was bully ball from Kawhi Leonard. He wasn't trying to find contact. He was creating contact every time he drove into the lane. Really felt like he was looking to force the issue, and not in a bad way at all. Some incredible shots from Leonard from the mid-range, the ability to get to the chest and to the thick of the defense and really not look like he was sped up or concerned at all. This is an overall impressive performance from Kawhi. I think what I take away from this one, Adam, is despite having Ben Simmons back and Kawhi Leonard back, I think this is only the second time both of them have played together. The Clippers look like a well-oiled machine in this ballgame on both ends. Credit to Lue. He played with a lot of different lineups today, and there was not one out there and that wasn't productive for the Clippers. They have a lot of great individual players who had great individual performances, like you had mentioned, Adam, but it felt like a team effort in this ballgame with the way they moved the ball.
Clippers would be victorious in Atlanta, 121-98. Now, James Harden had 6 turnovers in the ball game, Carlo. All 6 came in the first half. And he was getting deflections and steals out there. He was credited with 3 and got to 25 points on just 14 shots. So the efficiency was there from him. And really, when he turned his game around, it turned everything around for the Clippers.
It did. I mean, his ability to distribute, to get downhill, attack the rim, and then also just, like you mentioned, be careful with the basketball. It was great to see for the Clippers. Harden rarely, Adam, has 2 bad halves. This season, not one comes to mind in which he had 2 bad halves for the Clippers, and this felt like a bounce-back performance in the second half. Clippers came out a little slow, but, man, in that third quarter, they showed why they have been one of the top 5 defenses in the NBA all season long, flexing that muscle. And Harden had a couple of steals and deflections himself in that ball game. Impressive stuff from the beard to get going like that. It was great to see the Clippers get 7 guys in double figures, and we know that starts with James Harden. He stirs the drink for the Clippers on the offensive end. Did a good job of orchestrating tonight. A lot of string music for this Clipper team.
Ivica Zubac and the Clippers kind of picked his spots when he was going to take over, but there was a big moment where he was scoring at will in the fourth quarter when the Clippers kind of slammed the door shut. He goes 8 of 9, 18 points, just 6 boards, but a couple of assists. I like this game from Ivica Zubac. I wish he got the ball a little bit more out there, but Kawhi was cooking, James Harden was cooking. It makes sense, and they did go to him at important times to get him some easy looks. Hence the 8 of 9 shooting.
Yeah, and just super efficient. If the Clippers needed to, they could have gone to Zoom more. Now, let's remind our listeners, Adam, you're not satisfied unless he shoots 20 shots a night. So I don't know,
Look,
I don't know if he's going to get to 20.
I'm a visionary. I see this happening at some point in the future, okay? Not everybody was even on the... Look, you look at the beginning of the season, some people were still hating on Big Zoo. Now everybody's on board.
You're right. There's a lot of people who had some bad things to say, who are very, very silent when it comes to Ivica Zubac. Zubac's not surprised with his own play. I think in this one, because the Clippers had everything else going so well, they didn't need to go to Zoo. It feels like in moments where the offense is stuck in mud, then they go to Big Zoo. It's like, all right, nothing's working. Let's go to the ultimate advantage, one-on-one in the paint of Ivica Zubac. And for the Clippers, just impressive to find him when they needed him. You pointed it out. Credit you in that fourth quarter. The Atlanta Hawks kind of cut it close. Zoo gets back on the floor. He gets back-to-back buckets, and Atlanta never really gets closer.
Carlo, does Ben Simmons have 30 assists now to 2 turnovers as a Clipper after having 4 assists to 0 turnovers in this ball game? Is that number right?
I think so.
I thought he came in 26 to 2.
I think you're right. At 25 or 20, 25 or 26 coming in. But still, I mean, look, the Clippers need somebody who can handle and pass. I thought he made some fantastic passes in the paint. Kind of ridiculous hook shot, falling to his right outside the painted area from about 7 feet away to get it over the top. Simmons, when he has played, seems like a true cure for a Clipper team that's one Achilles heel throughout the season has been their ability to hang on to the basketball. It is so great to see Ben Simmons continue to help this team. And I thought him and Bogdanovic played really well together. Wasn't sure who was going to be handling the basketball. Both kind of played that role. And the Clippers, who would have thought of them? The Clippers had 2 playmakers on the floor at the same time. To start the season, it was James Harden and whoever else could try. But now it seems like there's an embarrassment of riches at playmakers with Kawhi, James, Bogey, and Ben. They have guys who are used to playing the point guard position, doing it at a high level. Impressive stuff from the Clips in this one. Throw Chris Dunn in there as well. I think he's done a good job when needed at being a release foul for Harden.
Clippers handled their business in Atlanta in the second half, highlighted by a 35-8 third quarter that would turn the game around and lead to this blowout. Clippers win 121-98 over the Hawks. Their next ball game, back it into a dome on Sunday versus the Charlotte Hornets. Pre-game at 3, tip-off at 4. Carlo Jimenez, great call. Safe travels. Talk to you on Sunday.
Talk to you Sunday, Adam. Let's go.
Coming up next, we will get to your second half highlights and your post-game box score. I'm Adam Moslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Miss Shakes, I love you, but you always hear what you want to hear. I already had credited Kawhi, James. How many players before I even got to Big Zoo tonight? You're like, stop bringing up Zoo. We get it, but the other guys handled it. He is arguably their best player this season. We're going to talk about Ivica Zubac. And Bay City, I ain't hearing this. Ivica Zubac has improved so much with his footwork. He did not turn into a different player this offseason. We've been talking about it forever. This is about opportunity that he's getting out there now. That's all this is. He had great footwork as a Laker.
Maybe I can walk.
He's been like this.
Yeah, checking first is smart.
He's just getting the ball more.
Check Allstate first at 888-Allstate or Allstate.com. Maybe I can.
Yeah, I don't get.
You're in good hands.
Some people get mad about praising Ivica Zubac, who is arguably their best player this season. When you account for defense and offense, we shouldn't talk about him.
This is foundation.
If you don't want to talk about Zoo, this is the wrong place for you. Because that's a pretty damn big storyline for this Clippers team. You have to go someplace else. I'm sorry.
Colin Cowherd. Weekday mornings at 9 a.m. after Dan Patrick. Right here on your home of the world champion Dodgers.
AM 570 LA Sports.
Drivers who switch and save the
Again, Miss Shakes, I play audio from coaches talking about getting him the ball more. Like, yes, a guy that dominant who has missed one shot and only gets 9 shots, it is a storyline. It is a part of the story of the game. He is arguably a top 5 center and he only got 9 shots. If you don't understand it, what can I say?
Clippers win the ball game. 121-98 over the Atlanta Hawks. In Atlanta, they head back to take on the Charlotte Hornets at Intuit Dome on Sunday. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
This is LA Clippers basketball. AM 570 KLAC Los Angeles, 98.7 KYSR HD2 Los Angeles, an iHeart radio station.
All right, second half action. Clippers were down by 8 heading into the third quarter. In that third quarter, to get things started, was a very aggressive Kawhi Leonard.
Leonard barges forward at 8 points in the second, fires a right wing jumper and nails it from the mid-range. Leonard up to 12. Kawhi underneath, muscles it through, and finishes around Muhammad K. Young to the rim, up and under, and he throws it away again. Kawhi the steal, and the pass ticketed for Daniels. Leonard straight away 3, rips the ropes. Kawhi Leonard gives the Clippers the lead.
Kawhi was dominant early in the third quarter, was going at Terance Mann at times in this ball game. But the Clippers defense, and Kawhi contributed to this as well with his 5 steals out there, was otherworldly in the third quarter. The Atlanta Hawks scored 8 points total in 12 minutes in that third quarter. They had 8 turnovers to match just having 8 points in the third. The Clippers outscored them 35-8. Incredible in the fourth quarter when they needed to slam the door shut. They gave it to Big Zoo.
Hands it off to Harden. Over the shoulder pass to Zoo. Steps through on T-Man. Goes up. Gets fouled and muscles it in. A chance for extra credit at the line. As Zubac has it in the lane for the Clippers. Muscles on a Kongu. Spins, layup, finish. Ivica Zubac with another bucket. 18 tonight.
Ivica Zubac finished with, 18 in 30 minutes. 8 of 9 shooting. Just got up 9 shots and he only missed 1. How does he not get more up? Well, Clippers won anyways. Big 121-98 over the Atlanta Hawks. But it does turn out that there are things you can work on even in victories. It's not just you work on things when you lose games. You work on things even when you win games. And Ivica Zubac could stand to get the basketball a little bit more. We'll see if that happens against the Charlotte Hornets on Sunday. Coming up next, we'll get your complete game box score. Clippers winners of 5 of their last 6 now after winning 121-98 by 23 over the Hawks in Atlanta. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It's where we raise our families, earn a living, enjoy life. But when disasters
Hey, look, if you're of the mindset that we won the game, it doesn't matter how we won and there's nothing to work on, great. It's not the show for you. It's not. There are mistakes made, believe it or not, in victory. There are great things that happen and good habits, even in losses sometimes. It's not as black and white and as simplistic as some people want to make it. Ivica Zubac getting 9 shots when he's 8 of 9 against a team that could not stop him is probably not enough.
Gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called.
I've given credit to everybody. I started off talking about Kawhi Leonard and how good of a game this was from him. I talked about the role players. I've talked about everybody.
Play your perfect combination.
I'm also going to talk about what they can still, in areas they can still improve in. Because they didn't win the championship tonight, turns out.
Let's see.
They beat an Atlanta team that's now 3 games under 500. There is work to be done.
Whoever you are, the excitement and relaxation you're looking
It's not just everything's fine.
Play your perfect combination at the Chunga Resort.
That's how I see the game. If you see it differently, cool.
Dan Patrick.
Commissioner, the NBA, Adam Silver.
This Clippers
Give me the
team, though,
wildest thing that you guys have considered.
The NBA is the only league.
defensively,
I am a
that
fan
third quarter was
of
insane.
4 10-minute quarters.
I don't know if I've ever
Inside where
seen
teams
a team
records
only
and
score
things
8
like
points in a
that.
quarter.
Incidentally, if you went to 40
I probably
games,
have.
issues around load management
It probably
pressing,
was
it
the
could be
Clippers.
equivalent of
It's probably
15
happened
games off the season.
within my 7 years here.
Patrick Show, weekday mornings,
But
6
that
a.m.
was
right here on LA's
the most
home of
locked-in
World
defense I've seen.
Champions.
And they were missing some shots, Atlanta. But my goodness.
This is the LA Clippers Audio Network.
Clippers completely dominate the second half and end up winning big in Atlanta, 121-98, thanks to 25 from Kawhi, 25 from James Harden, 14 off the bench from DJ. Bogey back in the ATL had 12, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 2 from distance. Nic Batum with the starters finished with 11, 4 of 8 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3. I asked if he could get 3 3-pointers tonight efficiently. He did. He was my player to watch in this one. Plus 7 boards, 2 assists, a Batumbo-like block. R.I.P. Mutombo. Plus a steal. The Clippers defense, last couple of games now, starting to come around, starting to look how they did at their best when they were second in the league for a substantial amount of time in defensive rating this season. But I was flabbergasted by that defensive performance in the third quarter. I said it as it was happening. It reminded me a little bit of how good they were in that third quarter against the Milwaukee Bucks coming out of the All-Star break, a game they would blow after leading by 13 in the fourth quarter. Now they put this one away. Credit Coach Lou. He took some timely timeouts when it looked like Atlanta might be getting some momentum, and the Clippers came out and stopped it immediately. but Kawhi played with such force out there. 21 shots. I love seeing that number from him. 11 of 21, just 1 of 4 from the outside. He did miss a couple of free throws, but he went at Terance Mann multiple times in this game. Got a fadeaway on him, a layup. Love T-Man, Clippers legend, but I think it was the right move because they have a lot of guys that can do what he does, and some of them do it better now in Chris Dunn, in Derrick Jones Jr. Chris Dunn, I know he went 0-4, but his defense, it's insane. The way he set the tone in the third quarter. I thought he and Kawhi and Ivica Zubac were so good. James Harden had his moments too, where he ended up with 3 steals and completely made up for that first half where he had 6 turnovers. Didn't have 1 in the second half. Clippers win as nobody from Atlanta had more than 18 points, 121-98. They hold them under 100. Their next game coming up in Charlotte against the Hornets on Sunday. We'll have your pregame show starting at 3, tip-off at 4. Clippers Talk on AM 570 is coming up next. If you want to get on, 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Outside of LA, talk to you on Sunday night from Intuit Dome. Clippers and Hornets in LA. It's Clippers Talk next.
Music to your Coors Light. Choose chill.
Somebody called. Call back. 866-987-2570. They hung up right afterwards.
Dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL.
Just count how many times I'll mention Kawhi's name. Well, a lot. He had a really good game. Kingley, I don't know if you knew this, but turns out the players who play really well, I tend to talk about them and praise them. Kawhi was really good. He looked like a superstar that had his B- game tonight. That's what it looked like to me.
It all starts with buying verified tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace.
866-987-2570 if you guys want to call in.
To the game so you can watch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Clippers up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. So get tickets at
Yes, you can make the argument when you account for offense, defense, and availability. Ivica Zubac has been their MVP this season. Consistency, too.
Calls on the LA Clippers right now.
This is Clippers Talk.
On air and on demand.
LA Clippers pre- and post-game. And follow Adam Osley.
Clippers go 2-1 on the roadie, and they've won 5 of their last 6 now as they head back to Intuit Dome after winning 121-98 in Atlanta over the Hawks. Welcome into your post-game show. This is Clipper Stock here on AM 570 LA Sports. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Great victory from the Clippers in this one. Really was. Because they were down 8 at the half. They had some scoring droughts. Remember that Nic Batum 3. A timely St. Nick 3 to end the first half. Atlanta was on a 15-4 run before he hit that shot. The Clippers went over 3 minutes without a field goal before he hit that shot. They had issues with that in the first quarter too. They did not have their best, and they were turning the basketball over rapidly in the first half. I was frustrated with it. Because when they were getting shots, they were shooting a high field goal percentage. They were shooting a high three-point percentage. But often, they weren't even getting shots up. They had 10 turnovers in the first half, and James Harden had 6 of them. Far too many. I mean, they're out there shooting 49% from the field and 47% from 3 in the first half. And they only scored 53 points because they turned the basketball over too much. They gave it away. When they got into their offense, it looked good. And defensively, they weren't nearly good enough, though, in the first half. The first 24 minutes. Giving up 61 points. Atlanta was shooting 51% from the field, 7 of 17. That's 41% from 3. And the Clippers found themselves down 61-53. Atlanta was getting out and running on them. And it looked like it could be a long night. But in that third quarter, something special happened. Clipper Nation, this might have been historic. This is a rarity. First of all, Nico, I believe, after having that three-pointer to end the first half, the Clippers would end up turning that into a 14-0 run by the time they got into the second half in that third quarter. And it was defense to offense. Nic Batum showed up with a block tomb on Dyson Daniels to start the third. Then Kawhi has a steal on Daniels. Gets a mid-range shot. Kawhi playing with force and pace himself out there, pushing the ball a lot. Then Kawhi with a layup off a Zoo feed. A Zoo flip shot on the right block. It's a 2-point game. Zoo is spinning layup. They can't stop him. Now it's 61-all. Atlanta hasn't scored yet. Clippers are on an 8-0 run to start the third. James Harden has a steal. Would miss the 3. Kawhi has a steal. Makes the 3. Clippers up 3. 14-0 run going back to the Nic Batum 3 to end the second quarter. Atlanta's first 10 possessions of the third. They missed 5 shots and had 5 turnovers. Those were their first 10 possessions of the third quarter. The Clippers defense was swarming and they couldn't hit anything. It was honestly painful to watch. Their first make was a Trae Young jumper, I think out of a timeout. Then they had another turnover. Dunn had a steal on Trae. Harden is hitting free throws, puts the Clippers up by 2 at 65-63. Another Clipper stop, more free throws. Hawks bucket, 2-point game. It's a tie game after a putback. And then Nico hits another 3. It's 70-67 Clippers. Harden step back 3. They're up 6. Hawks miss again. DJ layup off a Ben Simmons pass. Beautiful feed. Put him up by 8. Simmons to DJ again. Harden steal and a 3-pointer, and the Clippers are up 13. This is starting to get out of hand. Bogey free throws. Simmons layup. Now it's 84-67. Clippers are up 17. Hawks at one point missed 10 straight. 10 straight shots. Harden layup, Clippers up 19. Atlanta finally hit a shot. It was a dunk to stop the missed shot streak. Then Ben Simmons has a steal. Harden gets a floater, After 3, the Clippers are up 88-69. They had, I want to make sure that was right, a 25-point turnaround. You're down by 8. Now you're up by 19. That's more than that. That's a 27-point turnaround. From being down by 8 at the half to then being up by 19 heading into the fourth quarter. That's a 27-point swing. And the Atlanta Hawks, who started the game 22 of 43 from the field, they went 4 of 22 in the third quarter to get 8 points in 12 minutes while having 8 turnovers. They had as many turnovers as made shots. And the Clippers put up a 35 ball in the third. That was one of the craziest turnarounds and poor shooting performances that I had ever seen. 8 points in a quarter. Atlanta is solid offensively. They had just won 4 in a row. To completely dismantle them the way the Clippers did, that was great to see. And Kawhi starting out aggressively offensively. Then Big Zoo, who only took 3 shots in the first half, still just 6 in the second half, only missed 1 shot. I mean, they're up 19. They end up holding on and pouring it on, really, after getting up by, I believe, as many as 20 in the ball game. Yeah, the Clippers led by, make it 23. That was quite the tale of 2 halves, you could say. But in the fourth quarter, some other really good plays. I thought Derrick Jones Jr. had a big layup out of a timeout, going around his defender to his left. Kawhi had Terance Mann in a bad place where he was asked to guard him. He got fouled on a jumper on T-Man. After a layup going at Man, and then the double team came, he lost the basketball, picked it up, little scoop layup as he split the defense. He was putting moves on Terance Mann. He wanted to show him something. He had a spinning mid-range shot over T-Man, and he knew that was going in right away. Now, Man would beat Kawhi on a backdoor cut to get an easy one right after that play. But then Zoo kind of took over for a little bit. A dunk that put him up 101-84, an and one on Okongwu with a right-handed hook as he fell to the ground. Another spinning layup. That sequence right there, I think, really sealed the game. Harden had a steal after that. But Kawhi, a floater, put him up by 17 around the 4-minute mark. That was on Terance Mann. I love T-Man. He's an all-time Clipper great. One of my favorites. But the trade made sense from just a need standpoint with this Clippers team. Really did. They needed more shooting. They need guys who are willing to shoot out there. And they had guys in DJ and Chris Dunn after this last offseason that do a lot of what Terance Mann does. Amir Coffey does a lot of what Terance Mann does. I thought Amir, he had 10 of his 12 in the fourth quarter, also had a solid ball game. But Bogey back in Atlanta did most of his work in the first half. In fact, were 10 of his 12 points all coming in the first half. He hit a couple of three-pointers. He looked focused, as did T-Man. Both looking to make their former club pay. That's how it works. Yeah, Bogey had 10 of his 12 in the first half. Didn't take many shots in this one. Just 6. I thought Ben Simmons looked really good with some of his passes, guys. Even the ones that didn't turn out to be assists. He had a great feed to DJ in the far side corner in the first half that didn't fall for him on a three-pointer. But it was a really quick touch pass from Ben Simmons, just keeping the ball moving. And I think now His assist to turnover ratio as a Clipper is 30-2. Because I think it was 26-2 heading into the game, and Ben Simmons tonight against Atlanta had 4 assists to 0 turnovers. Wow. And Nic Batum as a starter has looked tremendous. He talked with Carlo postgame. 3 of 5 from the outside, 4 of 8 as he got a transition layup on a run out. Beat the defense down the floor. Still got it. 11 points. That block to start the third quarter. Maybe that was the big tone setter. Really good win for the Clippers. Let's go to Raji in New York. No, Riga the Tiger in New York.
Yo, what's the word, man?
You haven't called in a while. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, no, I've been listening in, but the truth is, the show be ending at like 2 a.m., man. I gotta work. So I'll be like, I'll let the West Coast handle it, but I listen every day, man. Every day. Clippers talk, man. I watch every game, you know.
I appreciate you. Big time.
Of course, man.
Riga the Tiger.
Yo.
You had one of my favorite calls this season. You've only called in once, right?
Yeah, man. Just checked in, make sure, you know, you kept your head on the swivel. You know how it go.
You got to keep me in check, all right? What did you think of this Clippers victory?
I thought it was excellent. Excellent. You know, health is wealth. That's the name of the game. And consistency. Kawhi knew he had to be aggressive because, you know, he's not going to be playing a back-to-back. But he's going to miss maybe four or five more games.
Well, hopefully, okay, there's three more back-to-backs left this season, Riga. Hopefully, with 15 games left, he can play 12 of them then, and he only misses one of those games, right?
Right. So that's the thing, though. So he'll probably be getting the most touches going forward. And then, you know, we got to remember Norm is hopefully he's coming back right around the corner. So, you know, it's going to be a lot more distribution, understanding lineups, which is totally fine, Just consistency is the name of the game. I got a tough question for you, though. Yo.
Hit me.
Who would you rather lose tonight? Russell Westbrook or Luka Doncic? Because that's who's playing right now. And I hope both of them lose.
Oh.
But they play each other.
Well, here's the thing. This is a tough one for me in some ways because typically it's always anybody but the Lakers. It's not about those two players so much to me. I still have love for Russ, even though he's not my type of guard, but I like the way he plays still, and it's worked out for the most part in Denver. We'll see how it works in the playoffs. But when I look at the standings, what I want, and I think the Memphis Grizzlies, they ended up losing. They lost to Cleveland. My dream is for them to end up as the second seed because the Clippers might have to come out of that 7-8 play-in matchup, and the winner of that game would take on the second seed. Now, if the Clippers got up to the 6th seed and Memphis dropped to the 3 seed, there's another way to play them. I'm all about trying to find a way to catch Memphis in the first round, not because I think they're a bad team. It's just a better option than a lot of the other ones, right?
No, I agree with that. I mean, it's not even close. Like, they're all tough. Top 4 teams in the West are very, very tough. But if you had to pick, I'd take Memphis. Shit, even if Houston can get back up there, I would take Houston. Like, if you get to pick, Houston would probably be.
Well, yeah, I just don't know. They're further down the standing. It's going to be harder for them to get the number 2 seed because coming into tonight, Memphis was in the 2 spot. Now they're going to drop down, assuming the Nuggets beat the Lakers. And I don't even know who's playing for them, nor do I care.
It's very close. It's very close right now. Nuggets was up by 4 when it was cold. Also, unfortunately, Minnesota won tonight. So
they're not stopping.
Also,
that's the problem. That's why I'm almost resigned to the Clippers ending up 7th or 8th.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the way my mind works, like if Kawhi is healthy, if the Clippers are fully healthy, Kawhi said this last season, the standings won't save you. It's not going to save you, man. You either going to lose or you're going to win. And if we fully loaded, I got us in the Western Conference Finals minimum. So if any of y'all gamble, put some money on that, man. You gonna eat tonight. You gonna eat. But
I'll use Underdog Fantasy when you do.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget Underdog. Yo, I just wanted to say a quick thing. So PJ Tucker, all of a sudden, he's happy sitting on the bench, and because he's in New York. Now it's okay for him to ride the bench. It's not like he's getting any minutes. So that's weird. And you remember that Detroit game we had where Cade Cunningham and the coach was talking trash about Harden getting foul calls? Well, guess what? Last night, Cade Cunningham had 21 free throws, and they still lost. But I bet they won't bring up the free throws. I bet you that. I bet you that.
A little bit of a double standard there, but I like Detroit and Cade.
Yeah, and guess what? This is just icing on the cake. The Philadelphia Sixers, they're looking to trade Paul George in the offseason. Come on, man.
Hey, they tried to trade him midseason. Are you kidding me? There was a report they tried to trade him this trade deadline.
Come on, man. Yo, you know what's crazy? The reason my biggest issue with Russ, he leaves. First thing he does is trash Ty Lue. And look, I'm a Terance Mann fan, but last time we spoke at him, I was saying, you know, he was always timid to take a shot. And that's just not, we don't need that right now. But then, you know what he said pre-game tonight? He was being interviewed by field level media. And you know what he said? He said, Coach Snyder is doing a great job of letting us know what he wants to see from us, and we're just executing. Well, how about tonight? Because in my eyes, that's a shot at our coach.
I'll read something else that he said, and I brought this up with La Murray on the pregame show here. I got something else that he said. This was from La Murray of The Athletic. Terance Mann said, quote, "They're expecting a lot more from me," talking about Atlanta. "They're expecting me to shoot the ball off the dribble, catch and shoot, make plays when I get to the paint. They just want me to be who I am, and I really appreciate Coach Q for that." Well, it's not like the Clippers weren't trying to get this same stuff out of him.
Bro, come on. And also, the Clippers, we had a history of our stars being injured. So the brother has had ample opportunity.
Well, and to be fair, some of the time, a lot of the time, he took advantage of it. The 21-22 season without Kawhi Leonard, with Paul George only playing 31 games, that was probably his best regular season. And then he was having a run the next year before they brought in Russell Westbrook as the starting point guard and looked good. So it was kind of a whack-a-mole situation with what his role was going to be at times with the Clippers.
Yeah, and I can understand that point, but what were you expecting from Ty Lue? It's like his stars are out. And what about this season? You lost your starting role to newcomers. Whose excuse is that?
Well,
who you gonna blame?
No. That was completely on Terance Mann. And Riga, I appreciate you. Make sure to call in, because even non-game days, we're still taking calls now on Clippers Talk.
Yeah, I know. I'll check in a little more often.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
Well, hopefully we'll talk soon. All right. Appreciate you, Riga.
All right, man. Take it easy. Of course.
We got to take a timeout. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. Look, I don't want to turn this into a Terance Mann hate fest or something like that. He's one of my favorite Clippers ever. And I don't think those were direct shots at the Clippers or Coach Lue. But it is a time to compare and look back upon his time as a Clipper and why it got to this point where he's playing for the Atlanta Hawks. I think it's going to end up best for both parties, where Terance Mann is playing with a more athletic, fast-paced, run-up-and-down type of team in Atlanta that suits his skill set more. I'm Adam Osland. Clippers win big. They showed off some skills. 121-98 in Atlanta over the Hawks. More Clippers talk next year on AM 570 LA Sports.
Earn a living. Enjoy life.
But when disaster,
I still got love for T-Man. I always will.
Come together and make it home again.
I didn't take offense to what he said. I don't think it was a shot at the Clippers. He's embracing his new situation, his new coach. I don't think Mann necessarily wanted to leave. He didn't ask out or something. There's no reason to have any animosity for him. And when he comes back next season and into a dome, he's going to get a real nice tribute video. We just have guys that do what he does, and some of them do it better. He was the starter coming into the season. He lost his starting job. I did a show like 2 days before he lost his starting job saying, man, it's time. You either get it going now or you're going to be taking out the starting lineup. And then it happened. And they were in Houston. And then I did a show before the trade deadline saying, I think Terance Mann could get traded. And then it happened.
Like never before. It all starts with buying verified tickets to the next Clippers
Sometimes it
home
pays to
game
listen
at
to Clippers talk.
Ticketmaster, the official ticket
Miss Shakes would
marketplace
say
of the LA
otherwise.
Clippers and the NBA.
She doesn't like when I get on them for Visa Zubac not getting more than 9 shots, even in a game that they won. I get it. But you hear Brian Shaw talk about this, and periodically the Clippers will go, yeah, we need to get Visa Zubac involved more. It needs to happen. Now, they blew him out. All's well that ends well in some ways here, but I need good process. I need Big Zoo getting double-digit field goal attempts. Because when the going gets tough, Brian Shaw said he is our biggest advantage heading into every game. The Hawks couldn't do anything with him. Bam Adebayo couldn't do anything with him. Nobody can stop this man.
You're listening to
Nice victory by the Clippers in Atlanta, 121-98. They were down by 8 at the half. They head into the fourth quarter up 19, a 27-point turnaround. Bargoff in Maryland. You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. Bargoff, what's up?
Yo, what's good, Adam? The governor calling in from D.C., Maryland. I actually called you last year. I called you last year after the Wizards.
Big
Clippers
government's
game,
in the house,
and,
huh? Reggie Jackson's in the house.
Yes, sir.
What do you
yes,
want to say?
sir.
You got about 30 seconds here because I got to take another break here soon. But what's up, Gov?
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I started watching in the third quarter when Ben Simmons had that back-to-back passes, but tenacious defense, man. Crazy third quarter, tenacious defense. Good balanced effort. The top 3 guys balled out, top 4 guys, and then got some bench contributions as well. Great to see Kawhi's physicality and aggression.
Yes.
And I really love seeing that. Him and T-Man had a nice little game within the game. Good battle. And, yeah, man, shout out. Great victory.
Thanks, Big Gov. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon, all right?
Yeah, you too, Adam.
Let's go to Demetrius in Manhattan Beach after the Clippers win 121-98 in Atlanta over the Hawks. Demetrius, how you feeling? Demetrius? We'll come back to him. Hassan in Anaheim. Hassan, what's up?
Adam Osland, what's good?
What do you want to say, man?
Hey, real quick, shout out to the last 2 guys that from the East Coast. You know, it really is Clipper Nation versus the world.
Yes,
But,
spreading the good word.
yes. Really, you know, want to give a kudos to all the other guys today. Bogey, Coffee. I mean, Zoo's not really a other guy no more. But, you know, without Norm really holding it down for us and, you know, really it's going to come down to those guys in the playoffs, right? Like Kawhi really getting into, you know, into form. Harden, he's Harden. He's going to do what he does. And we need, you know, even on a bad night for him to do what he does. But kudos to those guys for stepping up and carrying us through this last stretch. Can't wait for Norm to come back and go Clippers.
All right, good phone call, Hassan. Appreciate you. Yeah, we heard from La Murray of the Athletic pregame, basically saying it sounds like there's a possibility Norm could be back on Sunday. It's not for sure. It's not close to that, but it's possible. It's in play. We'll see. The word was reevaluated. We'll come back. We'll take a quick time out here on Clippers Talk. Looking for post-game audio from Coach Lou. Welcome back, Coach Lou. A lot of you guys were hating pregame. I don't know. Looked like Coach Lou had this team's attention. 121-98. Clippers winning in Atlanta over the Hawks. I'm Adam Osland, and this is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports.
life. But when disaster strikes, it takes all of us.
I'm not talking
to
mess.
come together and make it home again.
Your Southern California Ford
I'm spreading the
dealers are helping
truth.
First responders with donations and support to the LA Fire Department. and
Big Zoo's too good for only 9 shots.
If your vehicles were damaged by the recent Los
Yes,
Angeles
even in a win.
fires, the Southern California Ford dealers are offering you employee pricing.
It takes all of us to turn heartache into
They were
hope
down
and
8
make
at
it home.
the half. He only took 3 shots. He was 3 of 3 at the half, and they're down 8. Get Big Zoo going. Miss Shakes has been a part of the Adams family. I'm not trying to switch up. You criticized my criticism of Big Zoo not getting enough shots. I'm explaining myself. What the Mello have, that Mexican Nar? I didn't see.
Intuit Dome helps you enjoy the NBA IRL like never before. So get your tickets to see all the action.
There's no excuse anymore. Oh, they were zoning Zoo. If there is a double out of Issa Zubats, he will find the open man. He's been doing this. There's no excuse. Have you not been watching? He is just fine passing out of double teams. Because he's the biggest guy in the paint.
A master bathroom and a great kitchen. This is laying concrete.
They've done it plenty.
This is foundation up. They need stability. They need culture and people.
First of all, to break the zone, he should be
an excellent fit with the Raiders.
rolling around the high post, get it to him there.
A coordinator just won't do.
Colin Cowherd. Weekday mornings at 9 a.m. after Dan Patrick. Right here on your home of the world champion Dodgers.
Don't make me pull the tape again like I've done before to show that Visa Zubats is open.
All right, one more break after this.
Clippers win 121-98 in Atlanta over the Hawks after a third quarter where the Hawks got outscored 35-8 by your Los Angeles Clippers. Yes, they put up a snowman in the third. That's how cold they were. Yeah, I got bars. Ryan, it's Santa Ana. Ryan, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin.
Adam, hope all is well. Hey, thank you for doing this for like every day. I think around 180 straight days. That's awesome.
Only 161. This is only 161 days straight of
my
Clippers
bad, my
Talk.
bad.
It's nothing.
Around that much.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So I just wanted to say, hey, I was nervous in the beginning because the Hawks had good defense to start off the game. They were like, they had hands in the passing lanes. They were getting a lot of steals. I was really nervous, but luckily Ty Lue is a great mastermind in the sense that he knows how to adjust for the second half. That always does well. Dunn stifled Trae Young is the reason why T-Man was traded. I think we need to talk about that, but it goes both ways. I think there's a point that like Ty Lue didn't know what Mann's role was, so that kind of stifled everything, their relationship a little bit, I would say personally, but they did well. One thing I really loved is that Simmons and Derek Jones Jr. in the second unit.
Yes.
With Bogey, there is a lot of potential for it to be a dangerous team with them. If they're able to find chemistry and to mold and to like be healthy, that's the main part. We have a good chance, but it's just dependent on health. Oh, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, overall, good one. Good win. I love it.
Good phone call, Ryan. Appreciate you, man. I agree with you. The second unit has not been solidified by any stretch of the imagination. They have a lot of work to do, but they need Ben Simmons. I've been telling you guys, like, I know he's only played a few games, but he's become vital to this team with his playmaking. They need what he does. He's been really good. He keeps the ball moving and hopping, and he makes those hit-ahead passes. He passes guys open really well. He anticipates where guys are going, even new teammates now with the Clippers. He just has an innate passing ability, really special. Quick timeout here. Clippers win. in Atlanta, 121-98, and Ben Simmons return. Clippers return to Intuit Dome on Sunday to take on the Charlotte Hornets. More Clippers talk here on AM 570 LA Sports next.
Yeah. That Mexican Nara said it, that Ben and DJ connection, just like Ryan said it on the phone line, it's good. Because DJ is such a good cutter that it should be a good connection, right? Those backdoor cuts, slashing to the basket, Ben can find them.
Live out your spring fantasy with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary.
I am excited for the potential of this team. Hopefully they can get Norm back. Any post-game audio?
Catching Clippers basketball IRL. And nobody knows that better than you, LA fans. This season is even more exciting.
Tomorrow we'll have a show for you guys. I have some audio to review for sure.
Redefines the way fans watch basketball, including incredible
Coach Lou's back.
interactive Halo board.
Is Norm going to be back on Sunday? If I had to guess, I'd say Tuesday against the Cavs.
And experience the NBA IRL like never before.
Because they're like the best team in the league.
Verified tickets to the next
Record-wise, you can't argue with it.
Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the LA Clippers.
DJ has been so versatile, starting, coming off the bench. His production doesn't waver. He is in a little bit of a three-point funk as of late. He went 0-4 in this game, but you still, you want to talk about playing with force. The dunks he gets, they have needed a guy like that. I saw the graphic on FanDuel TV that said the Clippers are getting about one more dunk per game, 6 dunks per game, as opposed to 5 dunks per game last season. And they're like top 10 now. I think they were 6th when it comes to dunks per game.
Hoop Jab has some Ty Lue audio. It's about 2.5 minutes.
Let's play it if we got time. Guys, we'll play the Coach Lue audio coming back, and we'll get out. Kawhi looked really good in this game, guys. I'm telling you. He had pop.
LA Clippers basketball. Take us with.
Kawhi Leonard with 25, James Harden with 25, and the Clippers win by 23 in Atlanta over the Hawks with a dominant second half and a third quarter for the ages, where they outscored the Hawks 35-8. Their defense was that good. Let's hear from Coach Lue post-game.
I thought we really did a good job. I mean, KD set the tone all night, guarding Trey, which is a tough, guard every single night. He's so crafty, he can shoot it, get to the free throw line, floaters. And I thought KD did a really good job of just setting the tone in the game, but also that third quarter, when we came out defensively, we all were locked in.
Ben coming back for the first time in 2 weeks, it didn't look like a guy easing himself in, like attacking, facilitating. How did you feel about the lineups, his performance, and just overall how he came out of the game?
Yeah, I felt good. I thought his pace was very important, for that, for us to, gain the lead. His pace made a few, great passes for layups and threes. And his pace alone is just, great. And with his passing ability. And, getting back on the floor, just trying to get him acclimated and just trying to, get him up to speed to what we're trying to do. But I thought he looked good for his first game back.
Ask you about it before the game, but you got a player who's spent time in a place like this and wants to come back and not just play well, but you see people that you've been seeing,
right? Especially
in the midseason trading. How was it seeing him, go through that? Just not just as a player on the team, just someone that you got to know over the last month.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good for the team to come out and get a win for him. But you can see he's loved. I mean, all the teammates, everybody, when you walk down the hallway, everyone just welcomes him with open arms and just happy to see him. So that just tells you what a great person he is. And trades, are not for bad guys, or trades are not from guys that can't play. A lot of times it's money. A lot of times it's fit and different things like that. And so, we're happy to have him. He was happy to be back and see some of the people. But it was a good win for him, just coming back home. I mean, coming back to the place he got traded from.
Coach Theo Cantor for the French media Basket USA. What do you think about the progression of Zachary Rizache throughout the year? His rookie year?
From the first time we played him till now, I mean, it's night and day. Just his speed, his cutting ability, the way he shoots the basketball, get it off quick. It's night and day from when we played him early in the season. He's getting better and better. And they have a really, really, really good young player. And just it's good to see him progress the way he has.
That was about Zachary Rizache, who had a nice game tonight. Frenchman with the Atlanta Hawks. He finished with 15, but Trae Young only had 17, and that was one of the first things Coach Lou talked about, the defense from Chris Dunn on Trae Young. Chris Dunn is such a weapon and specialist when it comes to perimeter defense. Trae Young had 17 on 6 of 18 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3. Again, they didn't hit their first 3 of the second half. After a hot shooting first half, Atlanta, their first 3 of the second half came at the 3:28 mark of the fourth quarter. It was a 3 by Trae. He would hit back-to-back. I don't know if Chris Dunn was out on the floor at that time, but it didn't matter. The game was over. Incredible defender. Really been one of my favorite guys to watch in a Clippers uniform, Chris Dunn. You just ISO him and watch the way he's moving and disrupting things at all times defensively. All right, before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Carlo Jimenez, Noah Eagle, and Carlo on the call tonight for this 121-98 victory in Atlanta. Big brother Jake Warner, who we'll see back at Into a Dome on Sunday with the Clippers taking on Charlotte. And a big thanks to our producer, Daniel West, here in Burbank. I'm Adam Osland. You know, Clippers Talk don't stop on the YouTube side at Clippers Talk. Find us there. We'll have another show for you tomorrow. Outside of Clippers Talk on the YouTube side, we'll talk to you at 3 with your pregame show from Into a Dome on Sunday. Talk to you then.
Remember, Clippers Talk is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest way to play fantasy sports, and it's available in over 30 states. All you got to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats or your least favorite player stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money, make picks, win money, and I got that free promo code for you that will give new users a free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. The promo code is LAC, and you can find it in the referral link in the description down below in this very episode of Clippers Talk. Underdog Fantasy. Make picks. Win money. Talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure what time we'll do the show. Maybe after the injury report is out and we get an update on Norman Powell.